Hello everyone, welcome back to ninth grade English with Miss Martinez. Today we're going to be learning about homophones. Okay, so what we're going to start with is what are homophones? And homophones are words that are pronounced the same way but have different meanings. Sometimes they're spelled identically and sometimes they aren't. So the three commonly misused homophones that we're going to be going over today are then and than, there, and your. Okay, so the first homophone we're going to start with are then and than is used to introduce a comparison. So an example of this is going to be, she was smarter than you. We will use than when we're comparing two items, and then relates to time or means in that case. So an example would be run to the lake, then jump in. That's an example of then being used in a sense of time. And then if you're not happy, then leave. That's an example of then being used in the form of in that case. So here we get to see the different instances of when than and then should be used. But than should always be used to introduce a comparison, and then should be used when it's either related to time or means in that case. If you ever have a question about these two, one thing you can do is ask yourself, am I comparing two items? And if you're not, then you will know that than should not be used. The next word we will be going over is there, and there. So there, there, is a place. So an example of this would be, I live there. There, their, is for possession. An example would be, I understand their argument. Their argument is what the possession is. And then they is short for they are. So an example would be, where are the rabbits? They're near the tree. So if you want more help, there, there, is like here, and there, their, is like my, his, ours, hers. So if you're ever regarding a place, there should be used. And if you're ever talking about possessions, their should be used. If you're ever unsure whether they apostrophe re should be used, then you should try to replace it with they are. And if they are works, then that there will work as well. But if it doesn't work, then it means a different there should be used. The next set we will be going over is your and your. So your you apostrophe re is short for you are. So an example is, you're rich now. And then your is to show something belongs to you or is related to you. An example of this is, your answer is correct. In this case, the answer is what belongs to you. So this one's a little more simple than the last one we went over, because for this one, if you're ever unsure of the answer, replace it with you are. If you cannot expand it to you are in the sentence, then it is wrong. For example, if you said you are answer is correct, you would be able to know that that's an incorrect sentence. Where if you put you are rich now, you would understand that that does make sense. Therefore, you apostrophe re should be used. Next, I would like to address that there are many homophones in our language. The homophones we went over today are not the only ones, just some commonly confused ones. Some other homophones we see in our daily lives are two, and two, principal and principal, and red and red. So these are just a few examples of the ones we see often. For homework today, I'm going to ask that you take the time to either research or think of another set of homophones you can find that we didn't list today, that we didn't teach and I didn't list down. Along with writing them down, please look up when you should use each different one and have it for our next class. So make sure you have all different versions and spellings of the homophone written down, along with the definitions of each and when each different version of it should be used. Along with finding and defining your own homophones, I will ask that you complete these 7 questions by the time we meet again. You do not have to copy down the questions, only the answer. So feel free to go ahead and pause the video here to make sure you can either copy them down, take a photo, or answer them now if you please. You can feel free to go back to the video to make sure you get your answers correctly. And when we meet again, we will be going over all of these answers, and you all will have the opportunity to ask any questions you may have about them. Here is a copy of the Word document for our classroom activities we'll be going over the next time we meet. Our first classroom activity will be based on the homophones I asked you to research for this upcoming class. I will ask you to write all the homophones you researched on our whiteboard. The class will have 1 minute to try to guess what each different version of the homophone mean and when you should use it. After their guesses, you will have the chance to present what you found about the homophones and when they should be used in a sentence. So you each will have the opportunity to present on the homophones you researched. Our second activity will be a worksheet to challenge your understanding of what we learned through today's video. We will go over all the homework answers and questions before beginning the worksheet. In the worksheet, you will be identifying which of the 3 different homophones we learned about today should be used in a sentence. And the only ones we will be going over on the worksheet are the 3 that we went over in class today. So make sure that you are paying attention to what was being said and that you ask any questions you may have in class the next time we meet before we complete the worksheet together, because it will be graded. Lastly, here is a copy of the homophones worksheet. I will not give any answers, but here is what you can expect when we're going into class. Nothing too scary or anything to be afraid of. Again, you will have the opportunity to ask me questions in class before we complete it. And with that being said, that is all I have for you all today. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson and were able to learn something new. If you have any questions that need immediate answers, you could go ahead and email me. My email is there above. You can pause if you need to copy it. And I'm always here for any help you may need. And I hope that you all have a good rest of your day. And I will see you soon.